San Antonio Regionals is right around the corner, and with Regidrago V-Star taking 7 of the 8 spots in the last Regionals, here are 3 tips to take advantage of that using deck building and gameplay. First off, your deck has to have a banger going second play, meaning if your opponent goes first, like how Regidrago usually wants to, you gotta be ready for that clapback. Now, this could take a lot of forms. Miraidon and Raging Bolt can just straight up kill a 2-prizer, which makes some very good picks for San Antonio. Or it could take the form of an Arven play, Arven into Buddy Poffa and TM Evolution. Now, if you don't have a good going second play, it's not like your deck is unviable, but just make sure if they get set up on turn 1, you can handle a Phantom Dive for 200. Don't just be putting 1-prizers willy-nilly on your bench so that they can get sniped by the 60. Speaking of 1-prizers, tip number 2 is making sure you have ways around 1-prizers. The best decks right now are 2-prizer decks, but they usually play 1-prizers. For example, Regidrago plays Cleffa and Radiant Charizard, and often use these as a way to save themselves a turn. Because it doesn't matter if you go 2-2, 1-2, because that's just an extra KO you have to take. Also, check out decks like Charizard, which also plays Radiant Charizard, or like Raging Bolt with Slitherwing. You gotta have a way to take 2 prizes on that turn, either with things like Iron Hands, or with the Gust-like bosses, or even Iron Bundle. And what's even worse about taking these 1-prizers is that you're letting your opponent activate Pheasantipity, and that's the difference between drawing 6 or 9 cards over the course of the game. And that point segues into our third tip: KO that bird. Pheasantipity is a key factor for many decks to recover from using all their gas. If you can boss this thing early and KO it, that might put them back a turn or 2. It's a pretty easily KOable card at 210 HP, and most decks can hit that by turn 2 or 3. This also applies to fighting evolving decks. If you have a way to go 2-2-2 on them, don't take that first knockout on like a random Charmander unless it's their only one. Pheasantipity is also really key to recovering from late game INOs or Roxannes, which actually brings me to the 4th point for all you that stuck with me for the whole video. Find some way to get hand disruption into your deck. I don't care if it's 1 INO, 1 Roxanne, just having that 1 key piece in your deck changes the late game completely. Now that could be considered inconsistent, but like we were just talking about, we have Pheasantipity drawing cards, we have Forest Sealstone, heck, a lot of decks are playing Luminion still. A great power play late game is Countercatcher Pheasantipity, follow up with INO. Because I'm gonna be honest, a lot of these decks are pretty fake without Pheasantipity. Regidrago, deck is fake as heck without Pheasantipity. Like, what do they got? They got Cleffa, they got Mew. Let me tell you, if they're going Cleffa late game, I am fine with that. Give me that free turn of not taking a KO. Decks are very greedy right now, and they play single prizers to cover that up. And those are my 3 tips for winning San Antonio. Have a banger going second play, make sure you can get around single prizers by using Gust or any other means, KO Pheasantipity, and if you can fit in INO. If you follow these tips, I'll be seeing you at finals. But for now, I hope you subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.